Hello, am I audible? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. Please let me know when to start.
Ma'am, we'll wait for another 5 minutes. Just
Okay,
give some time for everyone to join and we can
sure,
start that, okay? Yeah.
sure.
Ma'am, I think we are good to go. We can start the session.
Sure, sir. Yeah. So first of all, welcome everyone. I would like to introduce myself. I am Dr. Sai Kulkarni, and I am BBA in Financial Management, MBA in Financial Management, NET in Management. I am PhD in Financial Management with special interest in capital markets. I have a total of 15 years of work in the academic sector in teaching financial management, financial analytics. I have been associated with CoachX since the past 1 year, and happy to greet you all. Welcome all. So, today's session, we will talk about financial analytics as a profession. So, if we can just quickly, would anybody volunteer to tell at what level of education you are? You can also comment in the chat box that are you a working professional or are you a student? All that sorts. You could comment in the chat box, please. Okay, great. All right, great. So I would run you through a PPT and we will talk about what is financial analytics as a profession and we will take questions. So just give me a sec till I start the PPT. Yes. So let us, is the PPT visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So, what exactly is financial data analytics? Now, first of all, let me just run you through what exactly is financial management. Now, financial management has several domains. It starts off with accounting and it later on goes on to capital markets, then raising of finance, managing of finance, investment analysis, then there is an there it later graduates to risk management, to credit analysis, etc. Now the key feature of a finance career is basically number crunching. Now earlier also this number crunching used to be there, but the implications of number crunching used to be limited because there were not much tools available, there was not the advent of computers, but analytics was always present in the finance management domain. So even it may be your normal accountant who used to analyze. But now since tools are available, the development of statistics and quantitative techniques, we have gone much further in these analytics. Earlier, the analytics used to be limited to profits and losses and all those things. But now analytics has increased. Now we live in a data economy. So our first way of decision making is data driven decision making. And for this data driven decision making, we need financial analytics. So, what exactly is financial analytics? It is collecting, analyzing, and interpreting financial data. So, as a financial analyst, as a financial analytics specialist, you will be always dealing with financial data. Now, from this financial data, we would be finding trends. When we get a large amount of financial data, which is now possible through data sets and databases, we will get financial data in large numbers, and then we would have to find trends, patterns, linkages in this financial data, and we will use this data to develop suggestions, recommendations. I would also like to add here that we would be also into forecasting and decision making and budgeting as well. Okay, so this is what exactly financial analytics is. Coming on to the next, that where all is financial analytics used? Now, is it limited to the finance domain? The answer is no. It is not limited to the finance domain. Anyone can become a good financial analyst with having some basic knowledge about finance. Now, if you have gone through the brochure of CoachX, we in our curriculum for financial data analytics certified financial analyst program, we do have a basic preamble about the basic concepts of finance. Now, you don't need not be an MBA in finance or a PhD in finance, or maybe having a CA degree or a CPA degree, etc. Of course, these degrees are preferable, but then you always need not have these degrees with you. Having basic financial knowledge also suffices for financial data analytics. Now, there are two parts in financial data analytics. One, which is the analytics part, which would require us to use tools and develop patterns, suggest trends, suggest recommendations. The second part is the advisory role. Now, yes, you may require knowledge of finance in the advisory role because you have to make sense of the financial data. So, finance degree is not mandatory, it is preferable. But if you look at the course structure properly, we do have the basic concepts of finance which are covered in the financial analyst role, financial analyst certification. So, there are chapters on what is finance, what is company finance, corporate finance, then what is capital budgeting, net present values, ratio analysis, and all those sorts. So, what all roles would be available once you become a financial analyst? Firstly, will be into data analysis and data modeling. Next would be in strategy planning. So, when a company is working today, it is looking at a next 7 to 8 years plan. So, how should we go ahead? I agree that the future is uncertain, but there are statistical tools and techniques which help us to even out this uncertainty and make good use of previous historic data. And then we can have a certain exercise of forecasting to understand in what direction we are going. So, a financial analyst can be helpful in strategy planning. Of course, there is a lot of market research and economics research that needs to be done because we are a part of a system, we are a part of a financial ecosystem, we are a part of a market, we are a part of the global economy. So, whatever trends are happening in the global economy is going to directly or indirectly impact the performance of the business. So, what is the magnitude of the impact? Whether it is going to affect us positively or negatively. By market research, I here not mean customer preferences, but I mean the capital markets. In capital markets, uh, how is the stock market treating our company? What are the trends in which the share prices are going to go? What are how is the market reaction to a certain positive or a negative happening in the market? What would be what would be the impact of a certain particular news on the prices of our shares? Is anybody interested in taking over our company? If yes, if the proposition is good, then are we a good target? Are we setting a good price? So all those would come in market research. The next would be risk assessment and management. This role leads in two aspects. If you are working for an organization, then it's risk assessment. By risk, I mean several kinds of risk, which is investment risk, credit risk, financial risk, default risk. That also is included in our module of risk management, where we talk about the different kinds of risks how to identify those risks, and how to calculate those risks. On the basis of that, you will be devising methods for the mitigation or the avoidance of risk. This is when you are in a corporate setup. The next is risk manage in the other aspect of risk assessment, which we talk about the market risk. The market risk is the capital market risk. What are the risks associated which will have an adverse impact on the market prices, on your market capitalization, on your future of rising prices, rising wealth, whether this wealth will be created or destroyed for your shareholders in the future. That is about risk assessment and management. The third category of risk assessment and management is risk assessment and management in the portfolio of investors. So, as an investor, whether this is a good investment proposition or not. There is a field in finance which is called as hedge funds. They are basically mutual funds with a focus, with a focus on maximizing your returns and at the same time minimizing the risk. So hedge funds is a very niche aspect of risk management, but then yes, we do need financial analysts in those aspects as well. Next comes investment analysis. So whether you are designing an investment portfolio for yourself or for a client or for an organization, being an internal part of the organization, or let's say, for example, for a bank. So you need to find out which investment way or which financial instrument is going to suit us, is going to be according to our financial goals, and what should be the ideal combination wherein our risks will be maximized, our goals will be completed, and the returns will be maximized, pardon me, our goals would be completed and the risk would be minimized. So which investment proposition is fruitful? Here we have a lot of forecasting that is needed to be done. Here we need to have valuations that are needed to be done. And this particular course talks at depth about valuations and forecasting from the finance aspect as well, and the statistical aspect or the quantitative aspect as well. Next, I hope is if everybody is with me. If you have any queries, you can just raise hand. I will be happy to take those queries. All good? All good to go? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So, yeah. So let's go ahead and talk about credit analysis. Credit analysis is judging the credit worthiness. We know what is now the CIBIL score. CIBIL score is an excellent example of data collection, data management, and giving suggestions. So financial analyst would do exactly just this. Find out a score which tells us the credit worthiness of any person or any organization that you are analyzing. A lot of banks require credit analysis analysts. Lot of credit rating agencies also require credit analysts, where you have to do a lot of data crunching and come up with rates and scores for clients, for organizations, and also for financial instruments. So you have credit rating agencies such as CRISIL is there, CARE is there, Equifax is there, then Dun and Bradstreet is there. So there are lot many agencies where there is a requirement of credit analysis. Okay. The next one comes into fund management. So when we design mutual funds, there are certain goals and objectives when we design the mutual fund. And then you need analysts there to have the optimum design of the mutual fund. There is one person who's called as a fund manager who leads the team of financial analysts. Now, financial analysts give suggestions on which securities to buy and which securities to sell so that you maximize the returns for your mutual fund holders. So there is a role of a financial analyst in that domain as well. And of course, you have portfolio management. As a financial analyst, you can develop and design portfolios using certain financial principles. Now, there are some financial principles such as the efficient market hypothesis, then the portfolio on the efficient security market line, the capital market line, which is all covered in our course curriculum. So you will understand the key aspects of portfolio management, and then you would be able to design and execute portfolios for our clients. With which, since we are talking regarding the syllabus, I would like to share with you the course curriculum for a financial, just give me a second, for a financial data analyst. Just give me a second till I open it up. Yes. So when we talk about our course curriculum, I will link this to our course curriculum. So you need basic knowledge about what exactly the financial system is, what are financial markets. Now, these few, an introduction or an overview to financial markets is basically designed for participation of a non-finance person into the finance domain. So we have an introduction to what are financial markets and systems, who are the dominant players in the finance industry, what kind of financial instruments are there, some key national and international regulations and rules within the regulatory environment in which the finance ecosystem works. Then we talk a little bit about corporate finance, about what are balance sheets, what is capital structure, net worth, and key ways like that. Then we talk about a few financial metrics. So the module one is specifically designed for a non-finance person to know and understand about the finance domain. So the way I said that there is no requirement for you to have a finance degree, because an overview of financial management is being provided to you. Then we would have topics such as in-depth topics about what exactly is financial statement analysis, what are ratio analysis, then what are the red flags that you must identify in a company when you are analyzing a company as a whole. The next comes we have corporate finance analysis. So you will understand all about share market, stock market, how to analyze ratios, how to understand what is the concept of cost of capital, the time value of money, the internal rate of return. All these are methods to analyze how a company will fare in the present as well as the future. Then the way I was telling about investment analysis. So valuations, we will learn about capital asset pricing, the way of deciding the future price of an equity share, and then whether we are going to give it a buy call or a sell call. Then about portfolio theory, technical analysis, that how to analyze trends by just looking at the stock prices. Then what about debt instruments? So bonds and debentures, etc. Then we are also talking about what we mean by risk management. So how much is the value at risk if you take a particular decision? I was just talking about credit analysis. So what is credit risk? How to identify the credit risk? How to mitigate the credit risk? How to do credit assessment? So the course curriculum of the financial analyst gives you a proper, not a very bird's eye view of finance, but a slightly more in-depth analysis or an in-depth understanding of finance, which are required for a financial analyst to understand. Okay, so we have moving ahead with our presentation. So, is it for you? Do I need a finance degree? The answer is yes or no. Yes, because it is preferable. No, because it is not mandatory. The curriculum itself provides such a beautiful overview, which is not very in depth, but not very generalized also, about finance. That even if a non finance person enrolls to this program, enrolls to this course, They will have an understanding of the finance domain as well. And at the same time, even if you have a degree in finance, or even if you have learned finance as a domain, it will be somewhat like a brushing up with a specific focus on financial analysis. Now, what are the kind of skills do you need? The first and foremost skill that you need are analytical skills. A person with some strong analytical skills, whether that person is working in the finance domain or maybe an engineering domain or an IT domain, it doesn't matter much. Even if you are a student, you need very good or strong analytical skills to become a financial analyst. So, a very strong logic, a very strong sense of cause and effect relationship. You do need, however, to have a penchant for numbers. Uh, you should have a good numerical aptitude if you are going to pursue a long term career as a financial analyst. So, one should not be scared of numbers or mathematics. As students, we have always been scared of mathematics. However, this fright goes away as we start working. But then, yes, because all the time, since it's a data driven economy, we always have to deal with numbers. So this fright fades. But a penchant for numbers is advisable, is preferable. And of course, you need critical thinking skills. So I will not talk about the technical skills because that is coming in the forthcoming slides. But yes, these kind of inherent skills are required for a financial analyst. Can they be developed? Of course, yes. With practice, with perseverance, even though if you feel that you don't have good analytical skills, these skills can be developed. Of course, for students especially, I would like to tell you, you may feel in your learning stage that you don't have much analytical skills, but the working professionals will agree with me that as you start working, you start developing those skills slowly and steadily. And a person who was supposedly having poor analytical skills in school or college would, after 5, 6 years, say that I have good analytical skills, because that is where the real development happens. So, even though if you feel that your analytical skills are poor or needs improvement, this course with a lot of practices, there would be a lot of assignments that you would have to complete, which will require a lot of analytical skills. So we do a little bit of development in that area as well. So now, a few areas or few careers that a financial analyst can pursue. Before that, I would like to ask if anybody has certain queries up till whatever I have spoken till now. Any queries, you can please unmute yourself or you can put in the chat box. I'll be free to take them.
So, as we are discussing the multiple modules, right?
Correct.
So, how in depth we are going to go into in, and how in depth we are going to cover these kind of, because the kind of the rules which we are going to discuss now, I
Yes.
believe so that having more than 15 years of experience into the market, they will be
Right.
requiring lot of depth, in-depth understanding of what we are doing.
Yes, sir. So, see, we will not be covering what a typical 2 year MBA degree will cover. I think we are clear on that because that takes a lot of time. But then, yes, we will go into the depth of financial analysis. We will go into the depth of investment analysis and also risk management as well.
So, what kind of after completing your program and having acquired the analytical skills,
Correct?
what kind of role one can go into in? Because see, I'm already having more than 15 years of experience into the market, into the insurance and into the wealth management products, right?
Right, right.
So, what kind of the career I can look forward if I'm not having
Yes.
the in-depth knowledge?
Okay, so see, the depth of knowledge would not be as high as an MBA degree. Okay, but then we would be having somewhere around 30 to 40 hours of finance tutoring.
Hmm.
So that would cover our basics of financial management. Like I said, the regulatory environment, the market environment. It would be an
See,
in-depth analysis.
basics. One. See, since last 15 years into the financial domain. So most of the things that you are going to teach us that I will be knowing already.
Correct,
Right.
correct, correct, correct.
It will be simply the brushing up for me
Right.
because
It would be a lot of brushing up, maybe some areas where you have lost touch. So it would be a brushing up of that. So around
because
30 hours, we will
Mhm.
be dealing with a thorough understanding of the finance domain.
So if I wanted to, switch to some of the newer role which I had been pursuing since so many years. So
Right.
do you think that would I be able to go
Yes,
into
sir,
that
because we are
domain?
just not talking about finance, but we are also going to cover up the tools. I'll be covering up that way as well. So we have a lot of tools that are developed in financial analysis, which need a precursor of basic knowledge of finance. Having considered that you do have a basic knowledge of finance, what you would really require at this point of time is to upskill yourself with the technical aspects of it. So we are going to be teaching advanced Excel. We are going to be teaching SQL, Tableau, Power BI, and other risk management tools as well. So there would be a lot of focus on statistical techniques, a basic understanding of SPSS, R programming, Python programming, where we can use the technical skills, the computer-based skills with the finance domain knowledge, and then make you ready for financial analysis. So the tools that are you being used today, let's say like Tableau, Power
Hmm.
BI, SQL, Python, advanced level of MS Excel or data processing softwares, a basic knowledge of databases. So all that is also going to be covered here.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so Manoj, can we take this in a few minutes? Yeah. Okay. So the areas of careers that one can pursue after pursuing this course or finance side, the first thing which is everybody has this glamour, and of course the glamour is compensated with a lot of hard work, and that is investment banking. So in investment banking, there are buy side roles and sell side roles. So buy side roles is when your client wants to buy a security, or a portfolio, or or a project, even, or a company for that matter. These are buy side roles that you need financial insights before making a buy decision. So these buy side roles could be analyzing projects for investment. A company wants to invest, let's say, $1 million in some country for that matter. So you would be doing a country risk analysis, the economic research for that country, the demand analysis, and then you would be investing your or then you would be recommending your client that whether this particular investment proposition is good or not. Then there is, on the buy side, there are mergers and acquisitions, company valuations, company pricings, and all those things. In private equity also, whether we should invest in this company or not, or is it a good investment proposal or not, that also is on the buy side. Of course, venture capital investments for startups. If you wish to buy any stake in any company, if you wish to acquire a certain amount of stake any company, so your buy side roles also require a good financial analysis. Also on the sell side role, there would be investment advice, looking at the financial goals of your client, whether it be a person or an organization. When you have to give investment advice, you need to have a lot of research at your end. So you have to match your research with the financial requirements and the goals of your client, and then design a good portfolio which can help your client to complete the financial goals and at the same time maximize his or her wealth. Of course, in sell side, there are fund management areas where you are selling mutual funds with some particular objective, with some particular fundamental principle in between, and of course, portfolio management. So, an area of career could be in investment banking. The other area of career could be in hardcore financial analysis. So, banks and financial institutions require a lot of people who can do credit analysis for them. Sometimes it is in house done by the bank, or sometimes it is outsourced to KPOs, or it is outsourced to big consulting firms who do credit analysis of project proposals. So, I can also have credit analysis if I'm working in a company. I can have credit analysis of my debtors, whether I should give credit to them or not, whether their CIBIL scores are good or not, whether we should trust them or are they going to be into going into bad debts. So in corporate settings as well as banks and financial institutions, you need a lot of credit analysis to be done. Next is risk analysis. So there are people who undertake risk analysis of investments, of portfolios, of companies. Like I said, there are several kinds of risks: financial risk, market risk, default risk, currency risk, country risk, operational risk. So, how to identify these risks and how to mitigate these risks, how to develop scenarios, and what to look at if the scenario comes to hold true. So you will require a lot of statistical knowledge here of probabilities, of regression equations, regression modeling, which is again included in this course. So a lot of quantitative aptitude is also included in this course, and you will need these quantitative techniques to analyze the risk and to assess the risk. Once we assess the risk, half the job is done, because when we know the magnitude of risk, we can take likewise measures to mitigate your risk. So you you come to know the risk by using quantitative techniques, using programming tools. You can assess the risk, and at the same time you can develop methods for mitigating that risk. There is also economic risk, political risk. So the amount of risk and its impact on the company is studied using regression analysis. The next part in financial analysis comes as financial modeling. Financial modeling is basically an exercise of predicting the future of the company. Now, we are no astrologers here. We'll be doing it with a very data driven mindset. But what could be the drivers of sales, the drivers of expenses? We identify them, we assess them with a very good level of accuracy, and we build a financial model with several scenarios, with an optimistic scenario, with a pessimistic scenario, with a normal scenario, and then we forecast the financial statements of the organization. Once we forecast the financial statement of the organization, we undertake a valuation exercise. And from the valuation exercise, we come to know about the future value and the present value, or the present value of future of the company. And then we find out whether this company is a good proposition, or whether the shares of this company are a good proposition to buy or not. So financial modeling would be developing the free cash flows of the organization for the future. And of course, along with financial modeling, we have, of course, forecasting and budgeting, because we need to have forecasts of the future to plan in the present. And then, of course, we have capital budgeting, where we assess different investment proposals. Let's say a company is planning into expansion and it wants to spend somewhere around 20 crore rupees. The problem is that 20 crore rupees will be invested right now, but the repercussions of that investment of 20 crores, positive or negative, will be seen in the future. So expense is right now, but the impact is later. And once the expense is done, is done. If we don't assess the impact, that whole 20 crore rupees is just going down the drain. Maybe along with that decision, the other parts of the company will also, it will also pull the company towards a very negative kind of a zone. So whenever we are investing, we should know the future impact of our present decisions. And that is where capital budgeting comes into the picture. And that capital budgeting helps us to find out the impact of the decision on our future cash flows. So this is into hardcore financial analysis. The next career comes in portfolio management. So there are mutual fund investments. So we as normal individuals, we invest in mutual funds, and we just forget over it, or we just sleep over it. But at the back end, the fund manager each and every day, every minute is trying and altering the mutual fund, buying and selling securities, which is going to help us to maximize our returns and minimize our risks. So mutual fund investment management, or what we call as fund management, is one more aspect of career. Then you have risk management in portfolios. So, hedge funds are such new kind of mutual funds which actually have access by the super rich only. We call them high net worth individuals. So, high net worth individuals participate in these kind of funds where the investment amount, also starting amount, runs in crores. Now, what their idea is that they would like to maximize their returns and at the same time minimize it. So there are several strategies that are deployed to make this goal happen. But the risk involved in hedge funds is also great. And then there are a lot of techniques of risk management which one can use. So you can have find out two securities wherein that you can find out a relation between them. Let's say there are two securities of two companies, company A and B, and they move in opposite directions. So if A goes up, B will go down. If B goes up, A will go down. If you merge these two investments, your risk will always be minimized, because when one goes down, you have the other which is compensating and that is going up. So such kind of strategies the hedge fund deploys. Hedge fund also has a lot of exposure to derivative instruments. Derivative instruments is also a part of our curriculum. There is prediction of investment and decision making. Through the financial modeling exercise, we try and find out the value and the future share price of the company. Then we decide whether this investment or whether this security is overpriced or underpriced. Now, if it is overpriced, we give a sell call that we should not stay invested in this company because it is being priced more than the expectation that is there. If it is underpriced, it shows future promise. And if there is future promise, then we would invest in that company. So such kind of decision making, whether you are supposed to take a pension plan or not, what are the instruments in which this pension plan is going to invest, will the stock markets favor me during that point of time? All these things come in investment prediction and decision making. Next comes financial instrument pricing or other instrument pricing as well. So what is the correct price for this particular financial instrument? Let's say if I'm dealing with debentures or fixed income instruments, is this fixed income instrument up to the standards or not? Whether it is overpriced, underpriced, what should be the most fair price of this instrument, of the share, of the debenture, of this particular other kind of financial instruments? Of course, then there are financial analysis positions in merchant banking as well. So merchant bankers are people who help the company whenever there is a share issue, an IPO or an FPO. So there is a lot of financial analysis done because you need to convince the probable shareholders that you invest in our company. So the pricing that we see in IPOs and FPOs has been a result of a very in-depth financial analysis. The valuation of the company, the fair price of the company, how much will the people be able to pay, people's perception, that is incorporated in the model. and then the modeling is done. And of course, preparation of business plans. So if you want to take a loan for a business, you will always be requiring a business plan which should be near to accuracy, because on the basis of that, the bank or the financial institution is going to decide whether to give you loan or not. So business plan preparation also comes here. Of course, when I talk about portfolio management, business plan preparation is for the portfolio of the bank. Then, these are a few kind of career options. Of course, they are not limited and not exhaustive. With the advent of AI and fintech revolution, there can be financial instrument pricing such as insurance also. Because if you see that these days we have competitive pricings. So I will be talking about pricings in the forthcoming slide as well. But then a simple air ticket pricing, any idea how this air ticket pricing comes? That there is a demand. So there are a lot of algorithmic AI based tools which these financial analysts develop. So the domain knowledge comes from the financial analyst, and then it is coded by the software engineers. So if you see that in peak periods the prices of tickets rise, and in slack period the prices of tickets fall. Earlier the you book, the lesser will be the price. The more you search about the ticket, the more will be the price for that. So there is dynamic pricing these days with the fintech revolution. There are still, I would also, I have seen this myself also, that if you are booking from a premium phone, the prices of the air tickets will be high. If you are booking from a standard phone or a desktop, which is of a low configuration, the prices will be low. So all these aspects are incorporated in a financial model, which gives, which is again someone at the back end, or a financial analyst to be precise at the back end has devised this. So with AI and fintech, there is a huge scope for financial analysis. And plus you have the benefit that now tools are easily available. There is not much that you will need to do manually, but of course, you need to have a thorough knowledge of these financial tools that we'll be discussing. So what all financial analysis tools you will be using? So of course, the I usually call that call as MX Excel is the Bhishma Pitama of all kinds of financial analysis. Extremely powerful application software having loads and loads of function. A majority of functions of financial analysis alone can be done through MS Excel. I would show it now in the curriculum that how these things are included. Again, an online way, a dynamic and a shareable way of MS Excel are your Google spreadsheets. So MS Excel or Google spreadsheets both have the similar number of functions. There are also a lot of financial functions that are available on MS Excel. Then you will learn a little bit of SQL and Python to incorporate a little bit of computer programming into financial analysis. So when you have to develop prediction-based models, you can use SQL and Python programming languages to create those models, so that you, when you input data, you will get several categories of outputs. Of course, now to visualize these outputs, we will require softwares like Microsoft Power BI and Tableau, where we will be able to create interactive dashboards where you can have a macro view as well as a micro view. So you can drill down with a macro view, and then you can drill it down up to the smallest micro level. We also need a lot of statistics, wherein we will learn about SPSS, R programming, Stata, MATLAB, etc. So when we are looking for it from a statistical point of view, when we are doing predictive modeling, we need certain statistical tools such as correlation, regression, discriminant analysis, factor analysis, and all those things, right? So all that is included in the curriculum. Let me show it to you in the curriculum brochure. So this is going to be our journey or roadmap of how and what we are going to learn. So first comes our financial industry overview. Then we have a round of Excel tutoring, financial statement analysis, corporate finance analysis using Excel. Then we have Tableau and Power BI. Moving ahead with SQL. Then we have the more complex risk management and investment analysis. Then we are learning how to use chat gpt or ai tools for financial analysis, azure fundamentals, github, statistical tools, python. Then how do we harness machine learning for finance, and of course there would be projects, assignments, and one-to-one mock interview and optimization. So a few topics that we would be studying when it specifically comes to tools is an overview of Excel, some functions of Excel, how to use data ranges, drop down the statistical, logical functions in Excel, reference functions in Excel, how to work on reports, data validation, then capital budgeting techniques such as net present value, future value, number period, data analysis and visualization, and there would be projects on this. Then in Excel also, what kind of data collection techniques would be there. So other aspects that you will be learning a lot of concepts in SQL, how to run queries, how to build queries, how to generate queries on this. Then we have Power BI and desktop and Power Query. So how to model data, how to create visualizations aspects. Then we talk about Tableau, how to visualize data using Tableau. Then we have the use of Chat GPT, its features, its working, integration of Chat GPT into other file app. Then we have the Azure services, cloud computing models, Git and GitHub models. Of course, we have all kinds of statistics, probability, differential, inferential, correlation, regression. Then we come up to Python programming. Python programming has proved to be very useful for finance professionals. Then, of course, we would be having machine learning for finance. What kind of algorithms do you develop? How to use AI and machine learning and deep learning tools and techniques into financial analysis. So, this whole program does not just cover finance aspects, but the technical aspect as well, because these days in the fintech revolution you need techno commercial people. So people having only commercial knowledge is not enough, people having only technical knowledge is also not enough. So this particular course looks into both. Yes, Sanjeev ji, you can ask your query.
Uh, After every module, you have written the self-paced.
Yes,
So these are not, these are the all the tools and the techniques which we are going to learn that will be learning on our own, or the
no,
specific
no, no,
classes will be given
there
to.
would be specific classes.
Okay.
Of course, the recordings will be available to you in case you want to revisit those, or in case you want to relearn those. There will be classes that would be held.
Okay. So the trainer support will be there, right?
Yes, yes, the trainer support will always be there.
I have a question.
Yes.
You have told over here. Can you please take the slide up? Slide bit.
Okay. The
Statistics.
the statistics, just a
Yeah,
sec. So you want to come to statistics? Yes.
yeah. So all these probability models and everything, they are very vast topic actually. Looking
Yeah.
at statistics. So
Yes.
even if I have a background from the equity market, I know all these things. Okay,
Correct.
but it will be how it will be incorporated with the Excel and everything. uh, how these models will help us get the core of because these all models are used for equity valuation purposes
Correct.
or
Correct.
future derivative market basically.
Yes, yes, yes.
So my question is regarding, so how much time will it take actually to complete this? Because all these models are very in depth.
Yeah.
They took very time. They
Yes,
are very
so
time
there
consuming
would
as well.
not be a very much depth if you consider something like an MSc statistics course. But working knowledge of all these statistical tools is required, and we would be giving working knowledge of that. So, how to develop a regression model? What kinds of probability distributions can you apply? And if you have worked here, then you must be knowing that Excel provides such very good support for probability. The data analysis add-in also provides you a lot of inputs in when you are creating regression models, when you are
So in that,
creating
skewness of data and everything will be
correct,
included.
correct. Yes, yes, yes. Skewness would be included, kurtosis will be included, regression modeling would be included, linear regression, multiple regression, all those things will be included.
All right. Okay. And regarding this Python,
Yeah,
uh, this Python is only related to these many libraries, that NumPy,
yes.
Pandas, and Matplotlib. The whole Python will not be covered.
See, I'm not an authority on Python, so I won't be able to tell much about that. I think so. Shubham sir might be able to throw light on that because when I was taking this course in the previous term, I was looking at the finance and the statistics part of it. So I'm no authority, so I won't take the risk of telling you about that because I'm not an authority on Python. So Shubham sir might be able to take your query.
Okay.
Anyone from CoachX representative who would like to answer this query?
Saran, you can discuss with your counselor once the session is done.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Now coming to a question that Mr. Manoj has asked, that how to develop or upgrade these skills with CoachX. So CoachX is, along with the financial analyst program, they are running several other programs wherein we can develop these analytical skills, where we can develop the business analytics skills, the data analytics skills. So if you really want to upskill or upgrade on your analytical skills using all these tools, they can be easily done with other programs. Yes. So coming
Hi,
on
Sai.
to,
I have
yeah,
a question.
hello.
Yeah, can you please explain investment banking again?
Okay. See,
Yeah.
now the basic aspect of an investment bank is that it is not a bank in reality. It is an organization who helps you with making investments, right? I hope that's clear.
Yes.
Yes. So there are two sides to investment bank. One which is the buy side, the other which is the sell side. So the buy side is giving you investment advice when you have to buy anything or when you have to make any investment. Now, that investment would be even a small share or could be as large as taking over a company. So, those are your buy side routes. There would be, maybe if an investment bank has a vertical of portfolio management of high net worth individuals, they would be interested in buying shares of companies in India as well as abroad. That would be your client A. Your client B could be a company who would say that I want to take over this company and tell me the correct price for this company. I want to take over this company. I feel that $10 million is the correct price. But you analyze the company, you analyze the financial statements, and tell me whether 10 million dollars or $1 million is the correct price of that. So it could be from a small parts like a share to a full-fledged company. So these are buy side roles. Now, when you have sell side roles, the investment bank also gives investment advice. Now, in this advice, let me be brutally honest here. In this advice, investment bank would also feel कि इसमें मेरा भी फायदा हो और मेरे क्लाइंट का भी फायदा. So, which or suggest when we are suggesting anything for investment, we are indirectly selling that company to our client. For that, we need to have our own level of research, which the investment banker does. So, this research, on the basis of this research, we would suggest certain financial instruments or we would suggest investment opportunities to our clients. So, in a way, we are selling the ideas of them buying certain securities. Those are your sell side rules. Also, the investment banking domain is also into consulting. So even though big of these accounting big fours such as the Deloittes or the KPMGs, they don't restrict to giving advice to companies, but they also give investment banking advice regarding large stake sales or stake purchases, mergers and acquisitions and all. So all such work is done by an investment bank. I hope that clears your question.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. So,
But
yes,
one
Yatendra.
after doing your this program, do you
Yes,
really think of that one would be, competitive enough, right, to give or put forth such an advice, right, even for the corporates?
definitely.
Definitely. Thank you.
Yes, yes,
Thank you.
yes, yes. So, a little, yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Yatendra.
हेलो मैम,
Yeah.
वर्किंग इन सेल्स तो uh, जो मुझे जो करना है ना, मैं मेरे को क्रेडिट एनालिसिस में जाना है।
Okay.
मतलब सेपरेटिव पार्ट में मुझे उसी में जाना है।
हाँ हाँ.
तो उसके लिए सब कुछ आना जरूरी है क्या?
हाँ, जरूरी है. बेसिकली आपको कंपनी समझनी पड़ेगी. फिर
मुझे
कंपनी के
आपने
फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स समझने पड़े. वो
नहीं
फाइनेंशियल
नहीं,
स्टेटमेंट्स में ग्रीन फ्लैग्स और रेड फ्लैग्स आइडेंटिफाई करने पड़े और तब
जैसे आपने
जाके आप
मशीन
क्रेडिट
लर्निंग बताया।
एनालिसिस प्रॉपरली कर पाओ.
ओके, नहीं जैसे आपने मशीन लर्निंग बताया, पाइथन बताया, एसक्यूएल बताया, इतना सब कुछ आना
हाँ,
जरूरी है?
जरूर जरूर. ये जरूरी नहीं है बट ये प्रेफरेबल है.
ओके, तो ये सब कुछ का
ज्यादा
मतलब
काम कम टाइम में हो सकता है. आप अगर एक मॉडल क्रिएट कर सकते हो, वहां से ज्यादा अच्छे रिजल्ट्स आएंगे, वहां से ज्यादा अच्छा प्रिडिक्शंस आएगा रादर देन डूइंग इट मैन्युअली.
ओके। और ये कितना ड्यूरेशन का टाइम कितना है इसका कोर्स का ड्यूरेशन?
Yeah, so the finance module lasts for 30 hours. Mr. Sham, would you be able to give an idea of the total duration?
Ma'am, we'll discuss that with the individual counselors once you are
Oh,
done.
sure, 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 sir. Yes. So I would like to discuss what in-depth things that you would work on. So you would be working on financial planning firstly. So the budgeting, and so these are the few uh, areas in which a financial analyst will work. So they would be working in budgets and forecasts. Then, like I discussed, financial modeling. Then mergers and acquisitions. So due diligence, what kind of diligences or what you need to check in the company that you are going to acquire, that is due diligence. Valuation of the taking over company, preparing pitch decks for venture capitalists, or for if you are a startup, if you want to be asking money from any venture capitalist or private equity firm, preparing pitch decks, valuation. So you would be doing intrinsic analysis, what we call as the fundamental analysis. You would also be doing the market analysis, merging and mixing the two. Investment analysis, investment opportunities for clients for financial instruments. You would be doing product pricing. Like I said, there is dynamic pricing these days for products. So something similar like your Make My Trip fares, they also do have a dynamic pricing looking at the demand and supply. So product pricing is one way. So dynamic pricing using data mining, the hits, the queries, the demand, all that you will create a model and you can move and shift prices to get maximum benefits. Then you would be can be going into areas like uh, identifying the risk in instruments portfolios. If you are very keen and if you acquire certain qualifications such as the CFA degree or the FRM degree, along with if you start getting interest through this curriculum and then you decide to pursue a CFA or an FRM, then you could go in risk identification or a risk management professional. You could do credit analysis. I think we talked a little bit about it, that you assess the credit worthiness, capital structure, how to raise capital, predictions, modeling of IPOs, capital budgeting, cause and effect analysis of economic aspects, and find its impact on business operations. Now, why do we need financial analysts? Firstly, with the fintech industry, there can be no finance role available which will only look into finance. Having a thorough knowledge of the technology aspect that is used in finance is necessary because fintech is growing leaps and bounds. I would like to tell you a personal example here. I am working full time with an organization, and that organization runs a management program in the fintech domain. So, in that fintech domain, there is a big combination that we have devised a curriculum wherein the students will be proficient in finance, at the same time they would be proficient in technology. Earlier, a finance degree professional used to be only learning finance, and a BTech or an MSc or a BSc in computer science only used to be learning programming languages. Now neither is enough. You need that with the fintech industry growing, you will need a finance professional to have some technical knowledge that will be specifically used for financial domain. Of course, the financial environment has become complex. Derivatives are there every other day, new instruments are coming, then the risk associated with those instruments are increasing, the participation of people in the finance domain is increasing. Of course, now one thing that happens in USA has a deep impact on the stock prices in India as well. So we are not now averse to all the happenings, even small happenings in other countries now impact our financial sector. There has been a shift from intuitive based decision making or judgmental based decision making to data driven decision making, a more objective way. So wherever data and of course decisions are, at the end, even forget the prospects and all that, at the end it all boils down to money, it all boils down to finance. So here you need someone who can help data driven decision making. And like I said, that the combination of finance and technical roles is now being a preferred qualification for young professionals especially. Of course, this financial analyst, according to Glassdoor, is increasing at a pace of 6% per year. Now, as you might have been aware that pure technical jobs with AI coming in very and taking big strides, uh, AI is going to replace all technical jobs. So we need some cushion, we need some push up. And finance is a combination of AI driven decision making, as well as there still continues to be there continues to be some judgmental part of it in which a human element is required. So that is why we need financial analysts more than ever. So this is what the financial analyst would have in store in the future. Yes, so I would be open for questions. So a few job details. If you are a fresher just out of college, packages run anywhere from 5 lakhs to 7 lakhs with the starting range. Of course, with your skills and other qualifications, they may increase. Preferred qualifications for a financial analyst in the degree aspect would be CA, MBA, BTech and MBA, degrees in data analytics, degrees in economics as well. So if any one of you is pursuing a BSc in economics, financial analysis can be a preferred career to you. So economics or econometrics are the degrees that help you in being a financial analyst. Of course, CoachX provides the professional skill based knowledge as well in this program. So even though you may not be of this degree, they will provide you with the certifications. Even though you are having these degrees, this particular course will complement whatever you are learning in your professional or the traditional degree setup. So basically, everyone could treat this, a working professional could treat this certification as a means of upskilling. A student would treat this certification as an avenue of getting a job. Of course, along with CoachX certifications, you could look at NSE and NISM certifications in technical analysis, wealth management, etc. Google Analytics, again, is a preferred certification that you could get, which complements this present certification. A CFA, a CPA, and an FRM are all long shots. But then that is not mandatory, that is advisable or desirable. So I would like to throw open the forum for questions. Any questions? Excuse me. Yes, any questions from the audience?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Anyone else? Miss Garima? Miss Urmi, Mr. Vishal, Smita? All right, sir. So that takes care of this overview of the financial analyst certification. Mr. Sham?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Yeah. So I think there are questions I have adequately answered, I hope.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. So, yeah, with your go ahead, would we be able to close the session?
Yes, I just wanted to inform every student,
Yeah.
if you have any queries other than this financial domain, you can connect with your individual counselors. Okay? Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you,
Yes.
Saimam.
Yeah. Thank you. Have a good Sunday, everyone. Thanks a lot.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, Mr. Sham, can we close this?
Yes, we can. I'll ask Shubham, say he's busy. I'll ask him
Okay.
to end the
Sure.
session. Yes.
Sure, sir. Yeah, I'll be there in case anybody has some questions
Sure,
till
sure,
then.
sure, sure, sure.
Hello. Thank you, Saiman, for your valuable time.
Yes,
Uh,
thank
it
you.
was it was quite an insightful session for today. And
Thank
thank you everyone for joining, giving your time as well. And yeah, everyone, happy Sunday. Enjoy your Sunday, okay?